Listen, it's not on me, I can guarantee you that, but I think they're gonna build by the dog park. They were working with the penitentiary
I heard they wanted
to
so
get
much
10
money
acres
for it,
off
it
or
was
something like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This Public Service Committee meeting, 5 o'clock, May 12th. Did you get to look at the minutes then?
Yep.
Any questions with the minutes, or everything looks good?
Make a motion to pass minutes from.
I'll second it. All in favor of accepting the minutes as submitted? Aye. Okay, department head reports. Of yours?
Yeah, sure. Pickleball update, courts are being used on a daily basis, looking for someone to hold a clinic. For those new to the sport, we've had a few people ask online, then looking at starting some leagues, later this summer. Grant, so we're waiting on an estimate to apply for a grant to help cover the cost of replacing the existing fencing around the courts and skate park and the ball diamond. Deadline for that is July 1st. That does require a resolution, so probably next service, public service, I'll be bringing that to you guys. But then we were not chosen for the AARP grant that we applied for the additional benches with shade structures there at the pickleball courts. There was over 5,100 applicants this year, so we'll just look at adding those in our next year's budget. Rec volleyball wrapped up Thursday, April 30th with 4 championship games. We've already been brainstorming on how to manage next season. If we see an increase like we did this year, then we have our adult sports leagues. Registrations are live. We have slow pitch softball, sand volleyball. Then there's the online link to register there. Pool opening day, looking at May 23rd. New hours for the pool season will be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Hope boxes. So both Hope boxes have been moved to new locations in each park. And hopes to reduce the amount of vandalism. So the Cowling Park Hope box is up front by the parking lot next to the horseshoe pit, and the Merrimack Hope box has been moved farther away from the playground towards the curve that leads back to the ball diamonds. Both Hope boxes do remain on camera. And then movie night in Cowling Park. So our first movie night of the season will be Friday, June 12th with the movie Goat. This will also be our mini festival night as well, with activities starting at 6 p.m. We'll have bounce houses, food trucks, petting zoo, face painting, and magic shows. And then our second movie night will take place on July 24th. So park signage. So park rules signage has been installed in both parks last week with the help of the street department. Then the communication board has been installed at Cowling Park Playground. That's the collaboration we did with Madison Health. And then added a little picture so you guys could see what the communication board is about.
So how does that work?
It's mainly for nonverbal children or adults, gives them a way to communicate. There's a lot of icons or there's alphabet to the side, stuff like that they can start spelling stuff if they need to. It's tough to really see what's on there, but I guess this is kind of like the universal icon. So any tablet or any thing they use at home to communicate with people. This is the same that's on this board, stuff like that. So Madison Health, their speech therapy was kind of behind this, going through the Talk to Me technology company, getting this board ordered and stuff like
Linda, do you have any idea how many people use the pool on a typical Monday?
that. On a typical Monday, slowest day is usually when it's about under 60 degrees.
All right. Don't start.
It varies. We're talking day, evening. It's hit or miss. And then what we're talking, it's May, June, like what are we? Because June, I mean, it's still fairly busy for the most part. A lot of people with your passes are still coming every day, stuff like that. As we get into July, usually Fair Week, after that, it starts to die down. But it's always hit or miss.
100 people on a Monday.
Oh, if it's good weather, I mean, we could look at 200 or 300. It all depends on the weather. On those hot weeks and stuff like that, like we'll start pulling a lot of people from outside of London coming here and stuff like that. with our new software, I mean, I can go back and you know, end up researching every Monday if I needed to.
I would like to look at, like, I'm thinking about doing something where we pay for the kids, 15 and under that are London residents or something like that on a Monday, or, just pick an off day where it's not gonna crowd it too much, but where we could maybe do something to pay for their passes, like if they have a season pass, obviously it wouldn't apply, but
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what would be practical to get, for, I'd say 15 and under kids, so kids only, London residents only, something along those lines.
Spurred up.
Right, just to do something good for the community and do something good for the city all at the same time.
Well, that's one of the things we are doing is requiring all patrons to be on an account. So we'll be, determining who's resident, who's non-resident, and stuff like that before anybody comes in.
If you could
So,
give me a little data on that, I would be interested in doing some kind of sponsorship for putting some life into that.
okay, yep. Let me kind of look into that, and then we can get in motion and kind of get the word out.
Anything else for Landon?
And I mean, we'll probably be seeing that number going up, because will we see the parking lot at the next council meeting? For getting all that started, or?
Did it get the finance? Did they discuss what
It didn't
accounts?
come up, so we're just it'll run it through. We had issues with, getting the law director to push that, so I wrote the resolution.
Okay. They'll be coming to the next council. Okay.
And he gets some number.
Cause yep, hopefully we'll have even more space for them at the pool. It's,
What was that? Yeah, so the hopes is to still get that to council, still get it installed at some point this summer.
But do you know, like how many kids or whatever go play basketball or skateboard or pickleball? I guess you won't know pickleball, but, and then go back and forth from the pool to there.
Some from basketball will do that. They'll jump. A lot of the ones with the passes and stuff like that. Even the ones that do the daily entry, we do let them re-enter and stuff like that if they do want to run down to the park or basketball courts and then come back and stuff. But as far as the usage, not really. There's no cameras there, so there's no really way to track it. I do know the courts get used pretty heavily as well. You can see pickup games going on both courts or free shooting, stuff like that. It seems like the skate park is getting a little bit more use as well. Usually there's one or two people there,
Yeah, I've seen some people at the pickleball courts too, off and on. So just wondered if that would increase use, being next to the pool, you get overheated and go jump in the water and come back and whatever.
Yeah. Like I said, we do a lot of re-entry, so.
have we gotten any kind of paddle system for kind of who's next in line?
We haven't put anything there. I mean, I kind of looked at it. We're trying to see what we're doing with the fencing. I don't want to buy something for fencing and then, fencing, stuff like that. If it becomes an issue, the time I've been there, there's nobody really waiting and stuff like that. So obviously as the summer progresses, it could become a little bit more busier and stuff. So it's something we'll definitely keep an eye on.
That's good. I was looking at some door hooks over at Walmart. A little 6 hanger there for about $30 and Sharpie 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
But I mean, it's just kind of if that's one of their issues or whatnot.
Well, I mean, just one person asked, and like I said, I haven't heard it, and that was the day we said that they're open for use. Somebody was just asking. So.
Well, yeah, I know that's one that they're pretty usual to have, because you're going to put yours there instead of sit and wait forever. They just have to have you at that spot. And so, thank you much, and that's all for me.
Okay. Bill, we'll go over yours.
Picked up 12 trees planted in the town park. Removed 3 dead trees, cut down one tree up there. Doing trash stuff.
Yeah, I saw that tree was cut down.
Right down from on the tolling from the baseball diamonds there. I saw that there's a pretty good blockage there in the creek that maybe you guys could just pull on out, but otherwise, yeah, been looking better and that's about all I could see.
Mr. Long, I lost part of my bridge from Sovereign Village that
I
went
haven't
down.
found it yet.
You haven't? Okay, they're like, it looks like railroad ties. Yeah, the old construction one, but if you see it, has someone told you about it? Okay.
But I have not seen it.
If you see it, we'll snake it out of there, but
Might be worth a hike.
you go find it, I'll give you a little reward, Tommy.
Take a beer. The block.
What's that? That works.
I got a couple spots I think I might.
So the dump truck, I guess legislation will come next council meeting also. Was it a dump truck that you were wanting to sell? 2 dump truck?
Yeah, I'm finalizing that too. Bill provided me the serial numbers today, so that resolution I finished.
Oh.
That-
Else for Bill? No. Pat, you got anything? Steve? We don't have any old business other than the stuff that's gonna be coming to council. New business, you wanted to talk about the dust mitigation from the.
So, as we saw at our last council meeting, there's a concern for the dust from the developments that's being put out there. I haven't seen it because, well, I'm here by McDonald's, so I don't catch it very often. Said that you've caught some of these clouds.
Now, there was one day that it was pretty windy and dry and it blew up a pretty good amount of dust. I haven't seen other than that one time.
And so just kind of the simple things I've looked up at least is the Ohio Administrative Code 3745 particular matter standards. And pretty much it just is going over reasonably available control measures. This includes watering unpaved surfaces frequently 4 times a day during dry weather, sweeping streets daily, and covering truckloads to prevent off-site tracking. Thank you again, Mr. Gross, for coming on in today. Do you have any kind of knowledge on this that you would like to share with us? Is maybe something to look into or?
Yeah, I do. I think respectfully, I think it's a huge mistake to wade into this pond because how are you going to measure particulate matter? Like there is a governing authority that manages this today inside the city of Columbus. I'm sorry, inside the city of London and Columbus and all through Ohio. And that's the EPA. Like this is their wheelhouse, right? Like that's what they do, right? And so the EPA has very specific requirements that people are obligated to follow. Okay. So I, interestingly enough, drove past, I was on Old Lafayette Plain City Road today. I have neighboring land there to where they're building the new sewer plant. And there was a small cloud of dust. Okay, now small cloud in my mind. If it's Elizabeth Branson, it would be a giant cloud of dust that would never be contained. And so you're going to get into an area, I think, that's going to be beyond the city's capabilities to measure particular matter. Okay, and you won't have the ability to go out on my land because that is privately held. The EPA, on the other hand, has the ability to go out there because they've got the regulatory authority to do enforcement of such matters, right? And so it's like trying to recreate what the EPA does, but without any of the resources that the EPA has, or without the legislative ability to enforce it, right? Like, I mean, you could pass something hypothetically that would be a attractive nuisance for your most disgruntled resident that is just looking to throw, kick sand in your face, if you will, right? But you don't have the ability to actually go out and do any kind of meaningful enforcement because no matter what you pass, you wouldn't have the right to enter private land the same way the EPA does, right?
If it's anything like a yard, we're gonna have to wait 3 weeks before. And then maybe we'll take.
I think respectfully, it's important to know that this stuff comes up, but I think Bill and I have a love-hate relationship. I love Bill, Bill hates me, I'm teasing. But like, I can almost predict before the call goes to Bill, when he's gonna get a phone call, and I'll say, hey, Bill, we're hauling aggregate out on Kenny Boulevard right now. We have a street sweeper prepared to pick it up, but we're not gonna pick it up after each truck leaves the road, right? Like, it's gonna be at the end of the day. And so when you get the calls, know that this is already in place. And Pat gave an example of mowing the grass over the weekend, and literally grass was getting mowed before the blow, like literally 10 minutes before a blower was getting blown to blow it off the road. And you'd have thought, oh my God, what's happening? Because one car's driving by as the lawn's being manicured. But before you could literally physically get it blown off the road, so you're either going to blow it on the road or the sidewalk, right? People are going to bitch about either one of them. But as a practical matter, then you're saying, don't cut the grass, right? Like, and you've got to cut the grass, right? And so I think you're getting into a can of worms that is maybe good hypothetically, but not practically, right? And so you're solving a problem that the EPA is already got jurisdictional authority over. And at the end of the day, you'd be arguing with me over particulate matter. You'd be getting yelled at by the most disgruntled citizen. I'm going to say Elizabeth Branson, because she's notorious for her unreasonableness. Okay. And she's going to say, you got too high a particulate matter. I'd say, no, we have too low. And I would just say, and Andy's exactly right. Like, he saw, like, this year was very high drought, right? And oh, by the way, there was never a point this year where they weren't watering every hour. Now, you talked about water on the land there, but when it's dusty, you know what I mean? You're never going to put that out, right? Without God's help of having rain. So there's going to be some of that. Like, there's no way to suggest that you won't have some dust when it's dry and some mud when it's wet, right? Like, that's just what you're going to have to do. And it's like, what are you doing to contain it? And as a local resident responsible for essentially the development that's here, it matters to me that the grass is not on the road, but it's got to be, you got to give me more than 10 minutes to get the lawn cut and the grass blown back. You got to give me, there's got to be some reasonableness in that whole process. And so I think kind of chasing particulate matter that is already regulated by the EPA is both redundant and unwise, because you will only get to your, to that person who's never going to be satisfied anyhow, right? And at the end of the day, if I get a call from Bill Long or from Steve or from Pat or from you or Andy or John, I'm going to fix it, not because it's a requirement, but because I want to be a good citizen and a good resident, and we want to make those things matter. And oh, by the way, when these people come in, we talk about how are you going to keep the dust down? How are you going to, now there are going to be circumstances that you can't entirely avoid, right? Like, and there were days this past summer where there were clouds of dust. I mean, but it wasn't because it wasn't getting watered, right? But you don't want to shut work down and wait till it rains either. You know what I mean? Like, there's a really unique balance. And at the end of the day, what I tell folks is, hey, everyone's got a vested interest in this being on fast forward, because then you only have a few days. So, an example I would give is, I learned that the city was working with ODOT to resurface 42. And I know that 3 years from now, we have a part of the traffic study impact, right? That we have to make some turn lanes and do some things with 42. So we're accelerating our improvements by 3 to 5 years to tie it into when ODOT's doing their work, so that residents aren't frustrated by the orange cones, right? Like, we all want the improved infrastructure, but none of us want the orange barrels, right? And so it's like, hey, we're doing everything we can. Will it be perfect? No, it won't be perfect, but I wouldn't give folks fodder that is unmanageable and is already regulated, right? Like, so to me, that becomes.
What is their watering schedule, or how does that kind of work with them currently, I guess?
With contractors?
Yep.
So the contractors, you're dealing with two things at all times. We don't want mud on the roads. We don't want dust in the air, right? So they're completely conflicted with one another, right? And so it's no different. Well, let's put it this way, Tommy. You said in a post that you like to see the farm fields. Well, guess what? When the farmers go through the fields and they're disking the fields, there's dust 100% of the time. Because you don't disc the field when it's wet. You disc the field when it's dry.
Now look at the field, when the football season was on, you could watch us taking corn out.
Right.
There's a bigger cloud than what you
Right.
see. with
Because you
this.
can't harvest
Can't do
corn
nothing
when
with
it's
it.
wet, right? Like, so you've got natural factors that are self-limiting. So it's just, the point is you don't want excessive dust and you don't want excessive mud. And you've got to kind of work with,
If we were to say, if we haven't seen a rain within a 7-day period, and so maybe that Monday, we would say, hey, we'd like to see at least a watering on that day to start the week off, and maybe a street sweeping planned for later that day in case it causes any extra debris, because that does make a good point that, yeah, if you're gonna ask them to water it, you better have something ready to kind of pick up if it's gonna have something else. Is that,
I think you'd be best to let the EPA do what they are specifically designated and designed to do, right? Because that's what they regulate, right? So the typical watering schedule is 3 times a day during dry weather, okay? And that's built into the contract, okay? So if you go out and again, today, look at the example of Mid-Ohio building a sewer plant. It was a very tiny cloud of dust. Like, I know as a contractor, you can't make it any smaller than that cloud of dust, right? Like, you couldn't make it
working?
But if you had something on the books, they'd say, hey, you better go enforce that. And then if you'd say, okay, go enforce that, Mr. Boyd, okay, how are you going to get the particulate matter to know what you're enforcing, right? So you're almost like chasing your tail, right? Like,
And that was my hardest thing looking up is how do you decide, or what is the variable for what's considered a dry period? Is that a length of time without rain? Is that above a certain temperature? And so, yeah, I don't know. I guess if that was one that maybe we could see
I think,
how that's decided.
I think Bill Clinton,
Even the particulate matter, I know I'm not going to be able to look at a cloud and say, that's about 75% particulate right there. It's more of, hey, if it has.
Dust is actually coming up
I
too.
think the Supreme Court said it best when they said, what's the definition of pornography? I don't know, but you'll know it when you see it, right? And so at the end of the day, I think there's enough systems in place to justify that we have a system that's not broken, right? Like, I don't think we have, I think we've got more development happening in the community today than at any other point in time in this community's history. And I would think for the most part, right? Not with, there's an exception here and there, but for the most part, it's happening very, very well, right? If you go down Graceland today, with the exception of one neighbor, the people will say, my God, I was really nervous about this. Is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And some of them will say, I got lakefront property because there's a retention pond there. Some of them will say, thank you, you didn't come through my community, the way it was originally designed. And, like, at the end of the day, I think if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? But have good communication. And if you ever feel like something's not happening, like if it's broken, I'm the most accessible guy in the room. Everybody's got my cell phone, my email, and I'll frankly take immediate action on it, right? And Brad,
Wind plays a big thing in a lot. of
wind
it, too.
plays a big
And it's
thing.
been exceptionally
Yeah.
windy year.
Right. And look, I will just, to that point, I can remember when we were at London Landing and we tore out a tree line. And Jacob Lane, where the mayor lives, is sitting on this side, and I'm like waiting for the perfect time to burn the trees. And I didn't want it to blow towards those homes, right? So I waited for a wind to go in the opposite direction, and okay. My son came home from school and said, Dad, my teacher said you're an idiot. And I said, well, why is that? And he said, well, the smoke blew towards the middle school, and the teacher said, "What kind of idiots out burning on a day like this?" But I was waiting for it not to blow toward the residents, and it happened to blow towards. So you're never going to get it.
It made it all the way over there, huh?
Right, on the other way to been to the prison, right? Like, so there's only certain practicalities that have got to get brought into the mix, and I think we're trying to solve something that's really not a problem. But it could be if you didn't have responsible activity, and I think the best answer is to say, hey, we're a local group of people working with a local group of people, and we're going to pick up the phone and say, hey, we expect better if this happens and what have you, right? So.
And that sounds good, because if anything, it's, yeah, I'll kind of reach right out to you and we can
Right.
chat more about
Yeah.
it.
And we don't want a problem for, like, I've literally taken car wash coupons to people's homes saying, hey, I know it was dusty today and I couldn't do anything about that, but run over to, Buckeye Car Wash, get your car washed on me. And like, where do you get that anywhere else? Right. And if you start getting into in a situation where you're trying to overregulate it, then you're like, screw that. I'm not giving them the car wash. I'm not trying to be a good neighbor. I'm just going to follow the letter of the law, and I'm right, and they can't write this. So I think you're better off with a community kind of based solution personally.
And thank you very much again for coming out, because like I said, all day is, do I want to bother him? Not really.
Never a bother, never a bother. It's all our town. It's all our community. So
Same
thank
thing
you.
happens as a sewer plant. A few days a year, the wind blows right and you can't stand it.
Right.
But most of the time you don't, it just happens.
Yeah.
You
But when
put
they
up-
were putting the east
I
side,
mean, there's just so many things, right? I mean, what was that, a month ago where they laid that organic manure down?
Yeah, somebody
And for
does
about
out,
a week, the
that's
whole
bad.
town Was just terrible, and
was that out on the prison farm?
it's over on that field by the prison.
Yeah, it was blowing in towards there.
Oh,
I didn't know about
I
it.
thought it was my neighbors at the end, right there at Maddox, but
Well, just on the sewer plant, like where they're putting the lift station on the east side trunk line, right? Blocks put in there, Brad Block put in, can't have any smell within so many 25 feet of it. I'm like, and Mid-Ohio wanted that removed. I'm like, well, we shouldn't renegotiate this deal, but like, I understand why you want that removed. I said, and as a practical matter, what am I going to do if the wind's blowing my direction like, there's just, life happens, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
life happens. And I read the Facebook posts where people say, we don't have any infrastructure. We got crumbling infrastructure. We need new this. How are you going to fix crumbling infrastructure without new revenue? You need new revenue to fix old infrastructure, right? Like that's the only way it works. So the people who
go right
want
by
the
zero.
infrastructure improved need new revenue sources for that to happen, right? Like that's how we're going to fix it.
oh yeah.
So we need more collaboration is all it means.
That's fine coming in, telling us that it was actually 20 million instead of 13.5 million, and that's why it didn't get done.
Yep.
That was a new comment from Mid-Ohio.
Well, guess what? If they put it through when they should have, it would have been a lot less, right? But that's,
Exactly, whatever the cost, it would have been cheaper than now. So, well, hey, thank you tons again, and yeah, I don't really have much else to
Appreciate
push into.
the
We'll
information.
just kind of keep
Thank
eyes
you.
on it as we go.
All right. Then you had something about repairs needed from utility companies coming in and
Yep, the rest of our individual Matt Daly that came on in and chatted, I had brought those pictures up to us before, the one specifically with the sidewalk that had the black kind of tar, whatever that was, between it, holding it together. And so, I mean, Steve, would you know, Omnifiber, there's no way of really chasing them down for anything at this point, or is it, there's something we can look into at this point?
No, we've already been working, matter of fact, we also met with we met with Raquel on that, right? Potential of doing legislation, but, of requiring them to do a performance bond and, possibly a maintenance bond that would require them to maintain a bond for X number of years. To make sure. So we're looking at a number of other options. Bill could probably expand better, but especially when they're crossing other utilities, require them to video scope them so we can both before and after make sure.
yeah, and so, when there is an issue and somebody's got a hole in their front yard or something wrong with their sidewalk, the first thing is that you gotta realize all the stuff that got done at the end of the season last year, right? They're not gonna make or something like that. And nobody went. But anytime we've had great communication with them and, you know, they say, hey, we're coming back in to do X, Y, and Z and fix this and fix that. You know, we know it's frustrating for the citizens when they got a hole in their front yard or a pile of dirt, but we stay on them and those things get taken care of, so.
Yep, that's the ones on High Street there that, I mean, it's a block of sidewalk about this large that the whole thing is dropped down about an inch, inch and a half. And so, I mean, even little things like that, it's not much of a just pile of dirt. It was a new sidewalk that is now destroyed. And so that's just kind of a lead up into it because my largest concern is the work being done by Columbia Gas right now over on South Center Street and the amount of sidewalks that are torn up by that project going on.
It all gets replaced when the project's completed. They're gonna,
And
that's
that's,
part of a sidewalk, so you can walk down it. And once they're completed, the sidewalks all get removed and the concrete gets poured.
nice. So we do have, yep, hey, everywhere down there's got new sidewalks fully probably coming in from Columbia Gas once that, do you have any dates on, I guess, when that project may be finished up?
Probably got
A few years
another-
ago, AT&T went up North Main, took the whole sidewalk out. Then they put it back.
Probably got another 3 weeks or so.
You just gotta give them time. They're not gonna come in and fix section by section.
Oh, yeah. So that's, yep, good to hear, because yeah, that one I kept seeing, oh man. Feeling a
So,
little nervous here.
You know, but we do get complaints, you know, and they're dealt with regularly. It's, you know, that people want things fixed, as Pat said, you know, want it right now, what takes time to get it done, but we're constantly on those if they don't feel like their yard's been repaired or not. I know it may appear that, oh, there's nobody pays attention to it here, but we can show you that weekly, we're dealing with those kind of complaints, reaching out for those companies, dealing with the contractors to try to make those right, to make.
Yeah, it was,
And, you know, and I understand, you know, I take pride in my house and my yard and I, you know, keep my property clean and, you know, keep it looking nice and, you know, if somebody came in and dug a big hole, that was a hole there for a while, it would upset me too. Like, we completely understand and we take care of those and stay on, so.
yep, it's just, yeah, seeing even metal plates the other day and just a lady with her baby carriage trying to kind of go around it that, yeah, I know that we can't do anything right now as much, but just kind of being ready for whatever's coming. So,
Did you say you guys are working on a performance or maintenance bond to address that?
We're discussing with her, and one of the issues is how long on a maintenance bond. Am I calling that right thing, Bill? How long can we require them to maintain?
Oh, how far out after the project's done?
So if you have a project and 3 years later, it's in, you know, penetration of a sanitary sewer and the issues aren't showing up for 3 years, how far back? Yeah. So that's some of the issues we have to work, but
And we found issues where they have done things
I found an issue last year. It was done 23 years ago.
and they fixed it.
Really?
And we found issues where Omni hit something a couple of years ago and they come out and fix it.
sinkholes.
So we have not had an issue, I don't believe, with getting a hold of any of these fiber people and saying, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, and you come fix it. They're pretty responsive to come, so.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone?
I have one other thing while you're talking about construction. So the road in front of the bowling alley is going to be going in relatively soon. And before they put that road in, they're gonna connect the water to Highway 56, which is buried in the center of 56. So there will be some traffic disruption from that, just as an FYI. And then as soon as that is finished, and we'll do that as fast as possible, as soon as that is finished, it'll all get repaved and the permanent road
Do you
will,
know when that'll be?
within the next 2 weeks, I'm guessing. Have you seen the application come through?
I was hoping it was after. It's cool.
If you want them to wait, we
They
can,
don't matter. I mean, it's just.
like, if there's like, the contractor's been super good about, like, saying, hey, when can we do it? I've talked to the
Well, I mean,
bowling alley.
School's out in a week and a day, or a
Yeah.
week and 2 days.
So we
Next
could,
Thursday.
we could probably make that, like, we're trying to be as minimally disruptive.
I would
There's a
say-
restaurant there that doesn't want to get shut down either, Pat.
Yeah, no, but I would say maybe if you could try to do it after this Thursday. And then, cause that'll help with, cause that bus, they pick up right out there by you.
Okay.
And when they pick up out there by you, that traffic gets, cause they're stopping. And then they come down Garfield and there's 30 cars because people trying to get in town just from that. So now if you do that plus,
I know when Campbell put that line in, we asked them to have the connection there. I don't know if they put that connection in. That would save us from having to cut the asphalt. We were working with Campbell to see if that actually
Yeah.
happened the way, because we actually paid for it down by London, by Maddox Drive.
yeah,
But I don't know if they did it in both locations. If they did, that would be awesome, because we
Yeah.
kind of,
Won't be as strong.
but
Is the paving gonna happen at the same time or is that?
the paving will happen in June. I know that, like, we don't have an exact date for Cox, but we don't have an exact date because we don't know our completion date, and they don't
Yeah.
want to schedule
Right,
until
yeah.
they know when you're done. But
Yes.
we'll make sure 56 is taken care of from a
Right.
temporary
Right.
standpoint.
school that's up.
But anyhow, that's coming, and I just wanted to make sure.
When you put that road in and they come out to the street, people next to us gonna have to cut some shrubs down. You can't see to get out.
You are gonna, they're gonna, that's in the right of way, so
Is it?
they'll probably be pissed off about it, to be fair. But it's a giant shrub that's a complete hazard, like,
It's hard to see out of it now.
right, you can't
You can't.
safely leave the bowling alley today.
But you can go
right?
this way with it.
And
The
it's
road's
gonna
wide.
just have to come out, and that's just a safety issue, right? Like, and it's in the right of way, so it's not even a bona fide. It will be a bona fide issue for that one family, but it's a clear,
might be glad to
it's a,
get rid of
it's a
it.
clear safety, it's a clear safety issue.
Should we reach out to them ourselves? Or how can we do
We'll reach out to them. I mean, and they may not like it when we do, but then Bill will have to say, hey, listen, you guys are in the right of way, and I don't even mind replacing their shrub
Yeah,
farther back,
usually
right?
Paul will reach out and then say, hey, I'll replace it, put something farther back. You know, we had to do that with some trees, with some neighbors in the area of Butcher Block and we'll take care of it.
The first thing they do is want to tell you why they're not gonna do it, right? But that, they just gotta know that from a safety standpoint.
Figured I'd offer if, hey,
Yeah.
do what we need anyhow.
I appreciate it.
Now,
Sometimes things get too big.
Anything else?
Well, I guess, sorry, last piece with that. Is there much that we're gonna need, Bill, on our end for kind of joining that road into 56 over there when that goes through? Nothing really from London that we'll need to put in on that?
It's all on the developer.
Okay.
Be out there when you do it.
Well, thank you. Makes our job very easy.
It's a nice pond where you rent the lake.
Do
That is.
What is the box report?
Yep.
That somebody puts.
I can do record report.
Concrete?
Is that what they are? There's a whole bunch of.
Schedule the next one, eh?
You have one, right?
Grayson and that side of that.
I don't know exactly.
One, yes.
And I didn't know what they were. It's just interesting. The whole thing looks like a nice, I said, it almost like a house.
Okay. Our next meeting will be June 9th. It's the second Tuesday, 5:00 here. And I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned at 5:04.